Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
Hey everyone, welcome into the Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 131. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley at Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. Burley, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you, Expat and Carl?
I'm doing great. Carl, how are you?
Good. Hoping I don't get my daughter's illness.
Yeah, she's sick and home from nursery school, yeah. So hope that works out. Yeah, and you don't get sick from that, and hope she feels better. So anyway, we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about, speaking of feeling sick, the CMA, of course, came down with their ruling. We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to be talking about Horizon. Looks like we're going to get a trifecta. Another Horizon game is in the works. We're going to talk about that, as well as the Metacritic situation with Horizon. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, Armored Core 6. We're going to be talking about that. Of course, we got some gameplay for it, as well as the games that we picked this week, our picks of the week. And in our topic of the show, we're going to be talking about the big games coming out in May. So please stay tuned for that. But before we get into the games that we have been playing this past week, here is a brief word about where you all can find the podcast in audio and video formats.
Before the crew discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast's ad-free version in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry Tier 1 level at $1 per month and get every episode including exclusive ad-free post-show content in video format when recorded, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. The audio version of the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in the video version will be on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys. This last week I played, or since actually today, I started playing The Last Case of Benedict Fox. It's pretty good. I'm in like the first hour or so. It's very Metroidvania-like, jumping, and it's basically solving a particular case of your father's death and all, it seems like. And the game seems like it's set in like the 1920s. So, I mean, you're going through, it looks like your father's mansion in the beginning. And then you're looking for clues. So it's a very investigative type of game. But then you're cast into like this dream world, it seems like. And then you're just doing a lot of Metroidvania jumping and, going left and right and trying to look how to get through doors and things like that. So, I mean, it's fun so far. I love the art style. It's very, very pretty. So I've been playing that. And then, of course, I went back to the arcade classics, the Midway Classics arcade on Xbox, playing, of course, Smash TV from 1990 because I love Smash TV. I used to play it in the arcades. Yeah, I used to play it in the arcades all the time. So yeah, I mean, I love to play that once in a while. So yeah, so that's what I've been playing. Carl, how about you?
Yeah. Benedict Fox, is that a bit more puzzle over combat?
Yeah, maybe. I haven't really gotten that far yet.
Okay.
Not solving any particular puzzles yet. Well, I mean, there was one puzzle. I mean, but I mean, it's early on in the game, but it doesn't have anything to do with the combat yet. So basically, you go through the combat tutorial at the beginning, and then after that, you go through the mansion, and you're looking for clues, and you basically solve a puzzle to be able to open a particular door. And then after that, yeah, I haven't really got into anything else yet.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fun. So anyway,
right.
Go ahead. I
tried very briefly the Blaze Blue cross tag battle.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't actually impressed, unfortunately. I really what I did was I jumped into the tutorials and tried to learn the basics of this system. Mm-hmm. And then I went through the tutorials for all of the Persona 4 characters.
Okay.
Just to see, what their movesets are, to see what, to get an idea of the type of moves in this game, and that's where I was like, I'm not really impressed with the like super moves and the sort of ultimate finisher moves. Like, I just feel like they're not quite as high quality as I expected. Like, you expect like really cool, elaborate like attacks or animations or I know Arc Systems has a lot of really cool stuff like that. And visually speaking, this game wasn't as impressive as I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. Now, it is a 2018 game, so there is that. Okay. It's not like it's the newest Arc System game. And I would guess that they ripped the Persona 4 characters directly from Persona 4 Arena, which is even older because it's a cross tag battle, kind of like what Marvel's Capcom 2 did, where they sort of ripped the characters from. They didn't really, it's not like they redid all the characters. I'm assuming that's what they did. So maybe that's part of it. It was cool to see those characters. Some of their voices seemed not quite the same as Teddy was definitely the right voice actor, but I'm not sure that all of them were correct.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. Visually, like, I think Dragon Ball FighterZ looked better than this game, and that came out the same year. So. Okay. So yeah, there's that.
Fighters is that old? I thought.
I know, right?
2 years ago.
It's pretty old, yeah. And then I played one other thing, and it may surprise you. It was a mobile game.
A mobile game. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Can anyone guess the mobile game?
Oh, come on. I mean, how many billions of mobile games are there? Come on. Give us one hit.
Mobile game. It's a new mobile game.
New mobile game.
Oh, I was going to say, it's knowing Carl's got to be Candy Crush. But
it just came out.
Just came out.
Yeah. It has my favorite type of gameplay.
Okay, so it's turn-based. All right, yeah.
I don't know if you're going to get it because you're probably not thinking along the line. So I'll just say it's Honkai Star Rail.
Honkai Star Rail. Okay.
Yeah. That's another MiHoYo game. That's the people who do Genshin Impact.
So how does it run on mobile?
Oh, really good. I mean, I have a Pixel 7, so It works really well.
Nice.
I put it. You can choose to change the settings and stuff. So I put it on 60 frames per second, and it doesn't. It's definitely not staying locked 60 on my phone, and I could probably change other settings to make it happen, but it does at times. But I also played it on PC because it's on PC as well.
Let me guess. You played it on PC first.
No.
You played mobile first. Okay. All right.
Which was maybe
surprising.
A weird thing because I tried to. Well, because I was like, it's something I can do in other situations, like when I can't game. So I'm like, I'll pop out the mobile. I've always wanted to get into something, but nothing has really been good, right? Okay. So on PC, you can share your account info and log in, and then you can when I go to play on PC, it's the same as the phone. It just boots up right where I was.
Nice.
PC has, of course, mouse and keyboard controls, or you can use a controller.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I hate playing games on mobile. It is awful. I really hate using the touchscreen. it's not fun at all.
This is a turn-based Carl's opinion. Yes.
Like you got a small screen, you got your fingers all over it.
Yeah.
Versus like I have a big computer screen and I can have a controller and or I could have the mouse and keyboard. The game actually works great with a controller. It feels like you're playing a regular console game at that point.
Yeah.
So they maybe will add controller support on mobile later.
Yeah.
But I have to say this game is really, really good. I don't know about the mobile aspect, like all your microtransaction and weirdness, because honestly I'm like baffled by a lot of it. There's so much of it that I'm like, I don't even want to.
Welcome to the mobile space.
Yeah. Like I'm not versed in that language. So I'm I don't know. Like, I don't want to, like, you going to stop and like explain all this to me? And the game's like, no, you just keep going. Just keep playing. Like they try to explain a little bit, but every time they keep introducing new things and new screens here with new like currencies and items and
that's
things
normal.
Things like different ways to like level up things and all these different basically boxes to check off of like activities, to-do lists, and I'm like,
right,
god damn, like can I just play the game? Because when you're playing the game as a regular turn-based RPG, which it feels like when you're playing the main storyline, it's great. It's like Persona level almost.
Okay.
Like it's really, really that cool. Like visual style is incredible. Animations are beautiful. Characters are cool designs. They have good personality. Like your main two characters that are with you, which is a girl named March 7th.
Really?
And there's an explanation for it, and it's good. The writing is good. Like I really enjoy the writing is clever and like cute and fun at times. There's jokes. There's jokes in it that are good. So the main writing is good. The side quest stuff is not really interesting for the most part. Some of it is. Some of the side quest stuff actually has voice acting.
Okay.
So like I guess those are the sort of A tier side quests, and like the B tier side quest stuff is like I just want to skip. I just want but I got to the point. So I was playing the game and I was like, oh, this is great. I'm just going along with the main story and meeting characters, and there's cutscenes and stuff with like cool things happening, and there's an interesting story. And then I finally hit the wall, right? You know how these mobile games are, where they have to gate you at certain points, right? Because it is free to play. So I feel like I am paying like a high quality game that for free. So you have to get your Trailblazer level up to a certain level to play certain story missions. So I got to a point where like I need to be level 14 Trailblazer, and I couldn't do the next story mission. And I was like, like that's really annoying, because like I was enjoying it. I don't want to interrupt the story to go do some of the crap that I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
So I went and I did some stuff, and I feel like, I don't know. It depends on how often you have to do this, right? How often that they make you level up to do these, and how much that grind is going to be later on. Because there's a level of grind in all of these video games, right? And in pretty much any game that's like this. Right. So if they place it well and the grind so far wasn't so bad, like I didn't have to do that much to get to the level I needed. I had a bunch of side quests that I could just go and do, and I did all that stuff, and I ended up getting what I needed to move on. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's got a really good, like, sort of snappy, quick battle system that's fun for the most part. I mean, like the tougher enemies, bosses will take you a bit longer, but nothing crazy. You've got like your weaknesses, you got your toughness that you got to break. You break their toughness, and then they get broken, and that can interrupt attacks, and then that makes them weaker to other attacks, and all the real cool modern stuff that you see in turn-based games that work well. And this is a cool thing that's unique to this, is that everybody has an awesome animated ultimate move, right? Everyone has this really cool, and you'll see it so many times. So they better be good, because you got to enjoy watching them, and I do.
Okay.
But that you can interrupt any attack. So like the enemy is doing something, not in between turns. So like anytime it's ready, I can click it, and then that ultimate attack from that character will go off before the next person's turn. So it's a cool way to strategize and decide, like, all right, when do I can use it any time. So like make sure I use it when I, in certain areas, depending on what I want to do.
Use it to get the most effectiveness out of it.
Right. Like, do I want to break their defenses so that the next guy can do more damage, or do I want to wait till their defense is broken and do more damage after that? If I don't have the right damage types and whatever. So this good strategy. It's a good turn-based combat system. I'm enjoying it. I'm surprised.
Nice. Well, I have to say, Carl, I mean, of course, our podcast is a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is probably the longest we've ever talked about a mobile game before. So,
yeah.
So I'm surprised, and it's cool you had a chance to play that. So, Burley, your turn. Did you play a mobile game this week?
No, I haven't played a mobile game in God knows how long.
Okay.
I finished off the Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC story.
Okay, so we'll talk about that during our segment on Horizon, but yeah.
Yeah, I also have been streaming Pokemon Black Nuzlocke, doing the Nuzlocke challenge on that, and that is been the hardest one so far because they dropped the EXP in Gen 5 compared to the amount you used to get. So it's more grinding.
Yeah. Well, that's all about Pokemon, man. It's all about grinding. So good stuff.
Yes and no.
Okay. Did you start Jedi Survivor yet?
No, I have not.
No. Okay.
But I will be on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, I'm planning to get that and play that this coming week. So yeah.
No cassette beasts.
I haven't had time. I do plan to try that.
Okay.
I really do want to try that too. I'm impressed. Like, if you look at reviews, there's a couple 10 out of 10s.
Yeah, like you posted in the Discord, and I saw that. I was like, ooh, because I've been seeing a lot of it on Twitter, and it's like, ooh, I do need to sit and try this, and I do have this, so I can grab this on my PC and play.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of sitting and taking the time to do that. Yeah,
there's a third 10 out of 10 now. Yeah,
ooh. All right.
And that's only out of 17 reviews. It has an 86 on OpenCritic right now. 17 reviews. That's really high. It's very good.
Nice.
Yeah. And they announced, actually, I put it on the Discord, but they did announce May 25th is the date for the console. So it'll be on Xbox Game Pass at that point.
Okay. It's time to get into the weekly news beat. So obviously, earlier this week, of course, the ruling came down from the CMA, and it was disappointing to say the least. I mean, everybody was surprised about this decision. I mean, everybody in the media was saying it looks like that they're going to approve the deal. And everybody was thinking the reason why they're going to approve the deal was because of the exclusivity part of it all. That it seemed like Microsoft had, explained to a decent extent that it's not going to be like Call of Duty is not going to be exclusive. But then again, the CMA surprised us all and said, "Well, it's all about cloud gaming." What? I mean, everybody was just shocked about this. And I'll show you the link to the article from the BBC. And it's just, Microsoft has been working really, really hard at trying to tell these people that obviously they don't know much about the gaming space at all. That, it's not going to be exclusive. These games are not going to be exclusive, especially Call of Duty, right? But then they turn around and say it's all about, we don't want Microsoft to be dominant in the cloud market. But how do they know that? It's just, it's weird. And then, of course, we had all the, the responses and everything, and I'll send you a link there for the responses. So in its statement, the CMA said its decision to block the deal, quote, comes after Microsoft's proposed solution failed to effectively address the concerns in the cloud gaming sector outlined in the Competition and Markets Authority's provisional findings published in February. The regulator said the number of monthly active users for cloud gaming in the UK has more than tripled between the start of 2021 and the end of 2022, with the sector forecast to be worth £1 billion by 2026 and up to £11 billion globally. Quote, Microsoft has a strong position in cloud gaming services, and the evidence available to the CMA showed that Microsoft would find it commercially beneficial to make Activision's games exclusive to its own cloud gaming service. Which, that makes no sense.
Didn't they already signed 10-year deals with like 3 different companies?
Exactly. And
a 4th one just the other day.
Yes. Brad Smith, of course, came out with a tweet saying the Microsoft and European cloud gaming platform Inware have signed a 10-year agreement to stream PC games built by Xbox on its platform, as well as Activision Blizzard titles after the acquisition closes. So anyway, of course, Microsoft is appealing this decision. And of course, Bobby Kotick, of course, of Activision also came out with a response. It's just getting to the point of idiocracy here. And it's actually past that point, and my question to you, I'll start with you, Carl, is it still worth going through with all this? Obviously, Phil Spencer came out and he told all of the Xbox employees that our vision will continue even if the Microsoft Activision deal does not go through. We're going to continue to move forward with our vision for, Xbox and to try to bring it to as many gamers as possible. But is it really still worth it now? And part 2 of the question is this the death knell of the acquisition? What do you think?
All right. Is it worth it? Well, depends on, I guess, what your aspect you're looking at. If you're looking at financially, they stand to lose $3 billion if the deal doesn't go through.
Right.
So in some regards, I think it is worth it for them to continue if they believe that they can make it happen still, because whatever they're going to have to pay, to fight this continuously with, more lawyer fees and stuff. It's not going to be anywhere remotely close to $3 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Like $3 billion is an astronomical sum. Even if they were to do some sort of like crazy thing where they kind of like maybe ignore the CMA's decision and try to see like what kind of fines would we incur?
Yeah.
Any kind of fines, if you look at fines to businesses, they're never anywhere near $3 billion. So like, there's a lot of reason to be like, yeah, who cares what you say? Like,
Oh, we get a $5,000 fine. Here you go. Here's your $5,000.
Even if it's like 500 million, that's a lot less than $3 billion. So,
and I think they just made 500 million now. Split of a second.
So there's that aspect, and then just in general, I think, is it worth it to Microsoft? Yes, because Microsoft sees this as a huge acquisition for several reasons, right? It's not just about Xbox. A lot of people, in the gaming community, people we talk to are probably listening are just thinking about Xbox, mostly, and also versus PlayStation and how it affects them. But like, this is about Microsoft expanding in cloud, expanding in subscription services, and expanding in mobile, right?
Yeah.
So those things are just really important for them. Also, who has a lot of cash that is worth less and less money just sitting on it.
Yeah.
And due to the massive inflation that we've had around the world, so that it makes sense. Like, they want to spend their money. They're sitting on this money that's doing not that much for them. They want to spend it on something. Right? This is why they're fighting it. They're not giving up. Now, will they succeed? Man, no one knows that answer.
Now, I have a question for you, Carl, because I know you threw this in our Discord.
Yeah.
About supposedly Mark Cerny called the CMA at midnight to reveal that actually Sony has found a way to stream games with less latency than playing them on PS5.
Yeah, I can't believe that's actually something written in the documents, and which is again tells you how hard Sony is fighting this, right? Mm-hmm. They have their architect of their systems, chiming in saying, but what is he? But I don't understand what he's trying to say. Is that we have a better cloud system than Microsoft, then Google did, then Nvidia does, but we're not going to use it yet. We figured it out, and we're telling you that this technology is going to be better than playing natively at some point. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like you can't just say crap like that. Did you give them an example? Did you go to them and show them a physical example of your story that you're selling them? Because otherwise the CMA should a legitimate like competitions authority looking at this should say, like, that's great that you think you can do that, but you haven't done it, and you would have to prove that you can do it. Yeah. So that argument shouldn't mean anything at all. Yeah. The other one that I put in there, which was interesting, was another competitor, which I'm assuming is still Sony, right? I don't know what they're talking about, but said that Google Stadia's failure was tied to not having Call of Duty.
No.
Yeah, that was the problem with Stadia. Not the
there were several
launch,
aspects of the whole
paying
business.
full price for games that on other platforms were $20. Yeah. But Call of Duty, not having Call of Duty, that was the real problem with Stadia.
And then also this one I found just today from Florian Muller from Fast Patents, who talks a lot about this stuff. Was replying about something to do, the other lawsuit, right? The gamers lawsuit, in quotes.
Yeah.
Right. Said that there's they had a different number, right? So the CMA quote was they have an estimated Microsoft has an estimated 60 to 70% of market share in global cloud gaming services. But he's saying that that's almost twice as much as the market share from the lawyers in the San Francisco state, that's the gamers lawsuit lawyers, and they said that they would be sanctioned for making completely baseless representations to the court. So he's basically saying that their statement is more accurate, which I would believe, because I don't think Microsoft has 60 to 70% of the global market share of cloud gaming. Like, I know that people think that there's this idea that Xbox's xCloud Game Pass thing is the predominant cloud gaming service, but it really isn't. Like, maybe it's number one, maybe it's not. Like, just because the Game Pass has the most subscribers out of any of these services, people are subscribed to that for Game Pass, the console and PC side, not just for the cloud side. Right. And in fact, you can't actually subscribe to to cloud service from Microsoft just directly. You have to have Game Pass Ultimate.
Game Pass Ultimate.
So like that's another thing that, like, all of these aspects that the CMA is saying about cloud service are really just either completely wrong or like just off base and inaccurate.
Yeah.
So when you come back to, will Microsoft succeed in an appeal? It's possible if that's because those angles are ways to get the CAT, I forgot what it stands for, something competition something tribunal. Anyway, they are the ones who can review the CMA's decision and overturn it.
Yeah.
Now they usually do that when there are something illegal, based on information is said, inaccuracies in their decision, or some sort of irrationality to their logic, which you can see both of those here already. So I think there is a possibility. And then Microsoft made comments about to the UK government saying that, like, the UK is closed for business,
Right. They were saying that we should just work with the European Union now instead of the UK. Yeah.
So I think they're going to put a lot of pressure on the UK government to take action, which supposedly people are saying, although I don't know how that works, that the UK government could possibly do something as well.
Right.
So yeah, I can see the case where CAT does overturn it. I don't know if it's, I don't know if that's a high percentage chance, but I think there is a possibility. Now, when they do, everyone's like, oh, but it goes back to the CMA, and they'll just say the same thing. But But I find it highly unlikely that the CMA in this high pressure, big global focused thing would be overturned and then be like, yeah, no, we're still doing the same thing.
Yeah,
because they already killed half of their argument before when they said that the console side, the exclusivity of Call of Duty and all of that, they said, oh, that's not a problem anymore, and that they were just looking at cloud after that, and that's why everyone was like, yeah, well, cloud's not going to matter, of course, who cares?
Yeah.
So
Okay, Burley, throw your 10 cents in here. What do you think? Is this deal dead?
I don't think this deal's dead. I think this is just going to be, this deal is going to be a long, drawn out battle, because as we've seen with what Sony has done and the amount of shots they've fired at this they are going to fight tooth and nail to slow or stop this deal as much as they can. And with the UK, with what the UK has done, I think this is just lighting a fire under Microsoft, being like, okay, we're going to keep continuing. We're just going to keep coming. And them doing the whole thing, like, signing the 10-year deal with the UK streaming service. It's just
so with
Microsoft
any cloud gaming service, make organizations that they can make contractual agreements with, they're probably going to continue to do that. So
they're not going to be stupid. They're just going to make deals with everyone and keep making deals.
Yeah,
they're in it to win it on this deal. They ain't going to give up. It's not like they're going to just go, well, we spent the money at this point.
Right.
It ain't worth it. No, they're like, no, we want this. We want to, like, as Carl said, this isn't just cloud gaming. This just isn't even just Xbox.
Well, and it seems like
you got a huge mobile developer. You want to get that.
Yeah. Well, and then it's not only Microsoft wanting this deal. I mean, Activision Blizzard is actively, coming out, and stating that, hey, I mean, what the CMA has done here is just it's preposterous, and this deal should go through.
Well, Bobby Kotick wants his golden parachute, and all those shareholders.
Obviously,
they want their big payout. They want their big payout.
Right. I mean,
so they're gonna say, and probably, in all honesty, I think it would be best for these studios to get under the Microsoft umbrella, compared to the management that they're under right now.
Yeah, and even
Blizzard, I think Microsoft would clean house at Activision Blizzard. Be like, hey, you 40 people that are all problems, your ass is out the door.
That's another thing, is that if this doesn't go through, there might be sort of exodus of talent at Activision, because when this was announced, there was a lot of excitement, enthusiasm around in the company from developers there, because they're like, well, Kotick's going to end up being gone, and
there'll be stability. Exactly. Yeah.
No more Cosby sweet guys and all that.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. This is pointed out to me. You know how they said that Call of Duty can't run on Switch. Like the CMA, in their thing said, we don't believe that it can run on Switch, right? Yeah. So they're like, oh yeah, we don't think it can run on Switch, but Sony told us that they can make a better cloud system with the fastest possible response time that's just as good as native. And they're like, yes, sir, we believe it.
That is just so stupid. I'm not really impressed with Sony on this. This is just embarrassing that they're going to this level.
Because you can run COD on Switch right now with cloud, because they run cloud games on Switch, and they don't have to be.
You could run COD on Switch with the cloud, but it is going to be you have to understand it's still going to be not a great experience.
Well, but I don't know what technology they're using, right? So when you have the Resident Evil games for cloud, right? Yeah. On Switch, I don't know whose cloud service are, because Microsoft's version is better than some of the others.
True.
Right. So if they're using their cloud technology to run these games on Switch, they might be better than what's previously been on there.
Yeah, and the Switch and the second generation Switch is going to be probably coming next year anyway. So.
Exactly, and I think the Switch 2 is probably what they're talking about when they talk about native Call of Duty games because I'm sure you can scale it to run on their system at, it's going to be like 720p 30 frames per second, but it'll run.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Sony did the same thing in a sense with Killzone. I mean, and it was a great game for the Vita back in the day.
Well,
so that's a different example. But
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, if they have to water it down, they can water it down, but it'll still, I mean,
I mean, I think the scalability is much easier now with a lot of these things. You like Unreal Engine 5 is like built for high scalability,
right?
From mobile all the way up to your high-end PC. So
right.
I'm pretty sure they can do it. Like, I play Honkai Star Rail on my mobile phone, and
Burley, here we go.
And on my
more
PC,
mobile game stuff,
and the game runs the same. Like, PC, I can run it like at higher settings. Because my PC is probably stronger than my phone. But like, you don't think that a Switch 2 is gonna run similar to my Pixel 7? It's not. Like, what? Call of Duty Mobile is on. It works. So like, there's ways to do these things. I know there's a different game, but like, there's ways to do it.
Well, anyway, disappointing news, but it's not over yet. It's not over till the fat lady sings, right, guys? So we shall.
Yeah, and she's just humming right now.
Yeah, right. You have Microsoft and you have Activision saying like, nope, it's not over. We're still going.
Yeah. And
then you have the European Commission decision coming next month, and if they approve it, I think we're back to game on. Like,
Yeah, and then you have the FTC. Yeah, so.
Yeah, the FTC thing is
it's going to be a different
everybody
beast.
Thinks that's court system decision that's going to get blocked. And that's the way the system works in the U.S. Like that's fine. The CMA is an issue because they don't go to the court.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on, guys. So, Horizon. So obviously, Forbidden Shores, the DLC, Burning Shores. I'm sorry, Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West, Burning Shores is out, and we got the news this week, obviously, that we're going to be getting a new Horizon game. So Horizon 3 is going to be coming out. So Aloy's next adventure. So I want to talk about this with you guys. Speaking of like a game in Unreal 5, I'm thinking this game probably isn't going to be coming out until around close to the tail end of the PS5 lifespan. But I'm going to start with you on this, Burley. You played Burning Shores.
Yep.
Without spoiling anything, obviously. Where do you think, possibly, because we've heard that there are maybe some small hints of possibly where Aloy could be heading in the third installment that's going to be coming in the coming years. But I want to ask you that. And then also, do you think we could get like a native 120 frame per second game for Horizon 3 at the tail end of the PS5 generation? What do you think?
So at the end of Burning Shores, they tease that you will be going to multiple locations. Now, this is something I've been humming and hawing of. Where will we go? Because who knows? Like how far? Because in the sequel, you're going west. Are we going to go north? We're going to go south.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure where we're going to go, but it'll be very interesting to see where we go. As for your thing of 120 FPS at the end, maybe on the PS6, the PS6 edition of it, but it's a 120. But you never know, because that's the thing with the more time with the hardware, you learn more shortcuts, learn little tricks of how to get the best out of the hardware.
Do you think we'll still get Silence? We'll get another voice actor that has a similar voice to Lance Riddick.
This I'm not too sure, because it's like it's a damned if you do, a damned if you don't, because the character is so tied in with the plot.
Yes,
and it's like you can tell at the end of the DLC, Burning Shores, they have more stuff for, and they've been building them up. what they've did with him in the original game, what they did with him in Forbidden West, how much more they're like. You knew they were going to put more and do more stuff with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll recast, because I don't think they'll just kill him off, because I feel people will be.
Well, I'm sure there's
more
probably
upset.
somebody out there that has a similar type of voice that could fill in. Definitely, maybe so. Yeah. Anyway, Carl, what are your thoughts? I know you haven't played Horizon 2, you haven't played Forbidden West yet, but I mean, what are your thoughts on this announcement of Horizon 3?
Yeah, well, I mean, looking at the quote, I don't know that it's definitive announcement of Horizon 3.
Well, Guerrilla Games announced that it's in development. So,
well, I mean, here in the article, right? It says, expanding the world of Horizon with Aloy's next adventure and our exciting online project. So, like, yes, the implication is that there is another game, but Aloy's next adventure could be, a PSVR 2 game. I mean.
Good luck with that. Good luck. I don't think they'd want to do that right now.
That thing's still a thing.
Numbers, but
yeah, right. Yeah. I think they will continue this franchise. I don't think they're gonna give it up at this point. Honestly, the sales of Forbidden West don't seem to have been what they wanted, especially compared to the first game, which over its time sold incredibly well.
Yeah.
Burning Shores, this DLC looks, fairly expensive to develop, and I kind of doubt it's going to do numbers that they want either. I don't, and then they probably just committed to this, right? It's a kind of thing like I don't think DLC like this really should be made anymore. And I'm sure, Burley, you enjoyed this DLC.
I did.
Yeah. But it's the kind of thing where, like, how much money are you going to spend on this DLC, and how many people are actually going to play it and buy it when you could just start working on the next game?
Yeah, that definitely is a fair point, because the one of the things they said with this DLC that I didn't like was like, oh, it can only run on the PS5. And it's like nothing I've seen in this that you couldn't do on the PS4 with the obviously it's going to be visually degraded, a downgrade and all that, but
yeah, that's another factor. A good point that it's only on PS5. So if you're playing on PS4, you can't even buy this DLC.
Right?
How many people are? I mean, they're never gonna give out these numbers, but like, I would love to see statistics like how many people actually played this DLC or bought this DLC. Yeah. I'm sure that number's not great for a lot of DLCs nowadays. So
Carl, I want to kind of move on to the next part of the story here with Horizon. Also, of course, the moderation on Metacritic. Obviously, there was a situation within the game. No spoilers, but there is a character in the game that Aloy comes across during the DLC, and you have the option of being romantic with that particular character, who is a female character. And so that spurned lots of, I guess, hate when it came to review bombs on Metacritic. And so now Metacritic is pledging to have stricter moderation after the abusive Horizon Forbidden West DLC review bombing. So what do you think of all of that?
Me first?
Yeah, Carl, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's despicable what people are doing and saying on Metacritic. And I applaud their efforts to do something about it. This is the type of thing that should never be said. It's a freaking video game. Like, chill. Like, it's not a big deal, right?
Yes.
They do this for movies too, right?
Yeah, and in video games, if you want to have relationship options with a male or a female character, I think you should have the right to have that choice.
Yeah, you should. Now, the thing is, like, I'm not going to give any legitimacy to what these people say, but I do have this, like, I do understand that for some people, there might be a frustration in the idea that, like, all right, this is another PlayStation exclusive, right? Where the sexuality of the lead character in the first game was not really discussed or dived into in any way. And then in a DLC, they're like, oh, by the way, this character that you've been playing that you like, well, this is their sexuality. And like, does that matter? I don't know. But like, you did it in The Last of Us. You know, like when I played The Last of Us, when I played Horizon, you know,
You're referring to The Last of Us 2.
Well, no, because it was the what was the DLC called?
Left Behind.
Left Behind,
right?
Okay, and Left Behind, yes. Okay,
Right.
yes.
So like, I didn't know Ellie, and look, Ellie is a kid, so like, I never even once thought about her sexuality, right?
Yeah.
So then in Left Behind, you know, like, all right, you know, they revealed that, and I'm like, all right, but and that just became part of it, and you go into the second game, and it's just the game, it's just how it is, the character. But then they did it again with Horizon, where like, again, in the first Horizon game, you really never ever delve into any sort of sexuality for the main character. And then now in the second game's DLC, they're like, oh yeah, by the way. So like, I could understand a little bit of frustration, but to make that a thing that like, no, this game is 0 out of 10 because I hate that, I'm like, get out of here, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're a bigot too, by the way.
Burley, your thoughts on all of the Metacritic situation?
The whole Metacritic situation. People, I'm just gonna say this. It's not gonna be gently. Get a life. If you're gonna review bomb over that, I'm sorry. You need to do something with your life, because it's just like, and it's a choice. It's not forced on you, the whole thing. It's a choice. So if you chose to go down that, pick those options, it is what it is. Like, if you're gonna review something badly, it should be because of the gameplay or there's technical problems, not because of a character's how do I word this?
Orientation.
Sexual orientation.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that this needs to stop on OpenCritic, and they need to change their system. They need to make some sort of way, if you like the way Steam works, where you have to own the game, and then you can review it, and then it even tells you how long you've played the game in your review.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah,
I would like
so
that.
if they can't come up with some system like that, they either need to get rid of it completely, or I don't know, like do some sort of like much more stricter, you know, moderation on these type of reviews, because it's also stupid. It happens with console war stuff all the time. You know, Xbox exclusives get reviewed on by PlayStation fans, and PlayStation game exclusives get reviewed on by Xbox fans.
Yeah,
it just keeps happening. And if you look at the things, like, you can write nothing and just put a score, and like, it's hard to say.
But then Nintendo games are universally acclaimed.
Sometimes, but you can write
Mario, Zelda, which we're going to be talking about in the upcoming weeks, of course. The my game of the year pick already, of course. You know, I not because, you know, I've played it yet, but I'm just thinking that all of the gaming critics out there in the world are going to pick it as game of the year. So just like they did last year with Elden Ring, but
yeah. But what I was saying is, you can write stuff in your review, and if you look at some of the ones that got review bombed, like, you can see that besides this type of bigoted thing, which is above and beyond disgusting, the thing, you can tell reviews where someone is just like, I hate this thing that I didn't play for reasons that have nothing to do with the game.
Oh yeah.
Just by reading what they wrote, and you can see a number of them who are writing literally the exact same type of keywords, just in a slightly different way, because
or copying and pasting, and let's change the word here, change this word here, move the words around, and it means the same damn thing.
Yeah, so maybe they can implement some sort of AI system to look over these things and see to discover this type of behavior and get rid of those reviews. And you know, this is something that Rotten Tomatoes went through when it was after Last Jedi, and then it was the final straw was Captain Marvel, where people were just saying terrible things and review bombing it for obvious reasons that had nothing to do with it. And they implemented a system where if you buy your tickets through Fandango, and maybe there's another way to do it, that those are verified, right? So like, if I bought a ticket, I can then review it on the app on Fandango, and that shows up as a verified review that, like, I saw the movie. You know, I paid for a ticket. They know I paid for a ticket. versus
Yeah.
so that gets highlighted, and the non-verified reviews, you can see them, but they're not highlighted right away on Rotten Tomatoes. You have to go out of your way to like look for them.
So kind of have it like you link in with your, for in the case with Metacritic, link it in with your PlayStation account, your Xbox accounts.
Yeah,
that way you can
right.
pull the data there that you actually owned, and you put 15 hours or whatever. No.
Yeah, they should be able to do it because that data can be pulled. I'm sure there are APIs.
Oh,
that
that
pull
there
data.
there is stuff because
Yeah,
you can because I do stuff I have to link in for, like I do it to get game keys and stuff, and I have to verify how long I've played and all that so they can see the metrics. I'm actually playing and using the keys. There is stuff for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, let's move on. So, speaking of Elden Ring's creators from Software, obviously, we got Armored Core 6. It's going to be coming. It's going to be coming during the summer. So, I'm going to show you a little bit of that and to read a little bit of that. So, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. So, it's confirmed for August 25th for Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S, PS4, PS5, and PC. So, the story concerns Corral, an energy source that incinerated Rubicon before the game's events. It's reemerged, and various megacorps and factions want their fill. As an augmented mercenary on the planet Rubicon, players control their mech, which is highly customizable. And it also goes on in another article here from Gaming Bolt. So talking about the combat. We also get massive boss fights from, quote, huge combat helicopters, end quote, and, quote, heavily armored mobile turret, end quote, to, quote, unmanned heavy demolition machinery that's programmed to indiscriminately crush intruders, end quote. You'll also go up against other armored cores and, quote, humanoid, end quote, mechs in duels, which could take several attempts and some experimentation with your AC's equipment to fully learn and adapt to a boss's quirks. So, guys, how excited are you for Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon? Burley, I'll start with you.
I actually am excited. This was a series I've always meaned to try, but never have. But then hearing that it was a FromSoft series, because I didn't know it was FromSoft, makes me like a little weary. And then them saying, yeah, bosses may take you a few steps because you get to re-equip and jigger and learn the patterns and everything. It's like, oh boy, FromSoft bosses. But I am excited. I definitely will try it. I don't know if it'll be day one.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something I do want to try, especially if it comes out good.
Carl, how about you? Are you into the mech games?
No, but I saw this.
They're
video.
not turn-based, so no.
It does look really cool. I said this was a really good trailer, and for a game that I like, previously I was like, I just never really thought about it. I didn't care. And I watched this. I'm like, okay, that does look pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a good chance that this is a good game that does really well, that people are really into. Now, what was this humanoid mech thing? What are you talking about? I want to know what that is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very interested in that now. These battles of these boss things look wild. So yeah, I mean, like, they're doing it. This is going to be another game that people are going to be.
It's very Gundam-esque, Gundam-esque, I should say. With the kind of like a Robotech type of mech system that they have here. But I'm really excited for it. I mean, way back in the day, I used to play the Mech Warrior games on PC. So I used to love playing Mech Warrior and Mech Warrior Online. And then, of course, these games, I'm just, I'm excited for it. I'm kind of like Burley. I don't know if I'm going to be playing it day one, but something that I am excited for. And it's something kind of, a little bit different in scope from what From Software is usually, putting out when it comes to, the Souls games. So, excited for it for sure.
Yeah. Look, I want to see them do different things because, like, I'm not a Souls fan. So, but I know those games are good. People love them, and From Software is capable of making some really great things. Sekiro is a bit different too. So like, yeah, I want to see them do different things. That's great. Maybe they'll make a game that I will love. Maybe they'll make a turn-based RPG.
Oh, I wouldn't want to see a turn-based game from them. Oh, you've died. Now that you've died, you can reload and you've lost 5 levels on all your characters.
I'd be like Saga Frontier.
Yeah. All right, guys. April is almost over. Just a couple of days left here. Actually, out here in Japan, it is a national holiday today. It's called Showa Day. Of course, the Emperor Showa. Of course, yes. So it's a national holiday, and it begins Golden Week out here in Japan, where we have a few more holidays during the week. So, May is coming, and obviously the big games of May 2023 we're going to be talking about here in the topic of the show. And as you guys already know, I'm already predicting Zelda Tears of the Kingdom to win Game of the Year. But Carl, I mean, as an Xbox player, as your main console, I mean, of course, we got a big game coming up at the beginning of the month. We got Redfall coming and on Game Pass. So all of you that subscribe to Game Pass will be able to play Redfall day one. We're going to be talking about some of these games. So first, let's talk about Redfall, because that's going to be the first game that's coming out. So, Carl, I'll start with you. How excited are you for Redfall?
I mean, Redfall's not particularly my type of game, but I think it does look interesting. I mean, I do like when they add some sort of supernatural element to shooters. Like, if it's a military shooter, like I'm gonna be checked out. Like, there's just probably no way I'll ever be interested. But something like this, I mean, like it's on Game Pass, I might try it. I like that they have powers, and special powers are they're cool, like the main characters and all these weird different vampires. It's interesting. I think maybe Redfall might have caught a little bit of a break with if you've been paying attention to the Star Wars Jedi Survivor release. Apparently, the performance on PC is pretty lackluster.
Yeah,
they're like struggling to get good frame rates, and the stuttering and all that nonsense. And even on console, apparently the same thing, both on Xbox and PS5. I'm seeing people saying that it's not a lock 60. The 60 frames per second seems to not be particularly great, and some of that stutter is possibly there as well, they said. So you're gonna Jedi Survivor, I think, was getting like really bad reviews on Steam for its performance.
Oh yeah.
So the idea that Redfall has a 30 FPS on console, like maybe people should be looking at it, what happened with this Jedi Survivor launch, and then them actually put out a statement about this. I don't know if you saw that. They put out a statement about the performance, and that they're going to be putting out updates and stuff to fix it. So maybe they were right, Microsoft and Bethesda, to be like, hey, look, it's not ready, so we're not going to put it out now. Instead of like, we're not going to say anything, and here it is, and it doesn't work well.
Yeah.
So,
Burley, how about you? How excited are you for Redfall?
I'm excited. I'm excited to play it. Okay. Like, I will definitely try it, and then I'm gonna try like one little session off by myself, see how it is, and if I really enjoy it, I'll definitely be putting it in rotation for streaming.
Yeah,
and play, and then because you can play co-op, so I can play with viewers, so it'll be nice.
Yeah. Okay, well, here's the big one. I mean, the biggest one of the month, I think. This is just my opinion, but yeah, I mean, and probably it's going to be the big game of the year contender here. So, Zelda, of course, Tears of the Kingdom, an epic adventure across the land and skies of Hyrule awaits in The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom for Nintendo Switch. The adventure is yours to create in a world fueled by your imagination. In this sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, you'll decide your own path through the sprawling landscapes of Hyrule. and the mysterious islands floating in the vast skies above. And there's some critics out there. I think Gene Park for the Washington Post was saying that this game is probably bigger than Bloodborne in scope. I mean, I'm sorry, not Bloodborne, Elden Ring.
I was going to say, I would imagine it'd be bigger than Bloodborne.
Well, Bloodborne and Elden Ring are made by the same
Yeah.
developers. But anyway, yeah. So he was saying that, yeah, it's probably bigger than Elden Ring in scope. So, yeah. So, Burley, I know you're going to be playing this. So, what are your thoughts? Is it going to run? Is it going to run well on the Switch?
I think it'll run fine on the Switch. Like, I think you're not going to get too much on frame rate drops and all that with
all the machinery there, like all these cars and everything you're going to have to make? That might be something.
I think it'll run well. Nintendo is usually pretty good, especially main party Nintendo. This isn't Game Freak and Creature Company here that are making this. So I know Nintendo's gonna their was it A1 Studio?
Yeah,
I think they call it. They're gonna make sure this runs well. This I don't know if I'll pick up, because I'm still trying to get through the first game. Like I put it off. I'm gonna go back to it. But it's like there are aspects I like, but there's just so much with Breath of the Wild that I'm not a fan. Like these shrines, some are great, and then just some are just like, give me back. I miss my dungeons. I miss my items in Zelda, and I hate the stupid weapon break.
Okay, here's another game, and it's coming on May 23rd. That is one of the big games of the month. It's After Us. It's called After Us. Play as Gaia, the spirit of life, and navigate stunning performing environments in an abstract world to salvage the souls of extinct animals. Revive these creatures after learning their final fate. The last whale harpooned, the final eagle caged, the last deer hunted down, and more, while you survive encounters with dangerous, oil-covered devourers that roam the wasteland in search of remaining life. In this emotional journey from the creators of the critically acclaimed Arise, a simple story, you alone can restore life to the planet. So it's coming out for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series on the 23rd. So, Carl, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think this is the first time I've seen or heard of it. So I don't know where you pulled this one from.
No, this was at the Game Awards.
Yes.
Oh, it's at the Game Awards. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
But
I forgot.
I was going to say, I don't think they spent too long on the Game Awards when we recorded that. I think it was one of those, like, you blink and you miss it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, the premise of this game, obviously, reviving, creatures and animals. So thinking of, like, for example, animals that are, on the endangered list and trying to protect them and all. So, and of course, with the environment as well. So protecting the environment. So, it could be a really interesting game, I think. So this could be the wild card for the month, for sure.
Well, it gives me Kena vibes. Kena Bridge of Spirit vibes.
Yeah. Like, are we finally getting to, like, the biggest game of May? Yeah, here it is.
No, okay, whatever, Carl. But Star Trek Resurgence. I mean, what I really, really want out of this game is, of course, you're able to make your own decisions in this game. So, and there's going to be two main characters that you're going to be controlling throughout this game. I mean, it's interesting that it's set basically just after the events of Star Trek: The Next Generation. So I'm really looking forward to it, and having to make certain decisions in critical moments that'll be interesting. Carl, what are your thoughts on it?
No, yeah, I'm really excited for this game. I do want to see reviews, of course, because this studio is this the new one? I think I'm trying to remember which one this was. They're doing like this Telltale style game. But I love Star Trek, and especially this era of Star Trek. The time frame of that game is, I think, sometime after Deep Space Nine era.
Yeah.
So it's like in the time frame that I love Star Trek, like that time period of the universe that I want to see more of. So very excited for it.
And of course, Lord of the Rings Gollum finally coming May 25th. Burley Carl, what are your thoughts on Gollum?
They didn't cancel it.
No, they didn't cancel
No.
it. No, it's coming on the
No.
25th now, finally. Yeah. So, Burley, what are your thoughts on Lord of the Rings Gollum?
I'm interested on this. This is a game I've actually, I'll admit, I have applied to try and see if I can get myself a free key on this.
Mm-hmm.
Free copy. See, so I'm curious to see how this will go and how, because a lot of the gameplay they're saying are like stealth based. So seeing how that's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it could be a good game. It's just, nobody is really talking too much about it. I don't think anyone is really going to be hyped about it. It's probably not going to sell well.
Yeah.
Reviews, who knows? We'll see if it's a good game or not.
Yeah, we shall see.
Yeah.
Yeah, between evil and good.
Oh, who we kidding? He ain't going good.
Yeah, of course not. Well, we know the story already. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, so.
Well, yeah, like this is set. Like I forget when this is set. Like this is set between a bunch of things.
Well, it seems like we see a younger Gandalf in this.
Yeah.
Kind of. So, yeah, I don't know exactly at what point, but yeah, we shall see. So yeah, May looking pretty strong. Obviously, I think Zelda is the king of the group there. So that's going to be the big game. But finally, we get the remaster of System Shock. So yeah. So looking forward to that one.
System Shock.
Yeah, System Shock. Fully fledged remake of the groundbreaking original from 1994, combining cult gameplay with all new HD visuals, updated controls, and overhauled interface, and all new sounds and music. It even has the original voice actor of Shodan, one of gaming's most iconic villains. Witness the rebirth of one of the greatest and most influential games ever created. So, out on May 30th for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series.
Yeah, it looks cool. I don't. They're not pushing this game pretty hard, so at all. There's not really much talk about it. So I kind of wonder.
Yeah.
What level of? Well, yeah. I mean, it could end up being great. I just kind of wonder what level of experience it really is going to be.
Yeah, I think probably the a couple of weeks before we're going to get a lot more on it. So.
Yeah, I don't. It is odd because System Shock is a well-known franchise that inspired a lot of other things.
Yes.
So you'd think that this would get a bit more push and attention, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it has got a giant cult following, and I still hear people talking. Like, I've never played System Shock, and I remember whenever I would talk about BioShock, this would always come up, and you never have. Oh, you haven't played the real one. System Shock is the innovator, the original. You play an imitation. I used to get told that all the time. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, I'm looking at some other May stuff, and you got Hogwarts Legacy finally coming to PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, finally. Yeah,
I'm very interested to see how that performs because I don't expect it to perform well at all.
You don't expect 120 frames per second?
No. And then there's the Switch version, like who the hell knows when? That's not even coming.
God, no one buy that.
I know, right? Darkest Dungeon 2, I'm excited, is getting its 1.0 release. It says May 8th right now.
Okay.
So that's cool. And a lot of people won't be talking about that, but Darkest Dungeon was great, so it's good to see that.
Yeah.
That Fuga Melodies of Steel 2 is May 11th. So that's cool. That looks interesting. First one did well, or at least it reviewed well. I know. What else was interesting here? That Amnesia game, Amnesia, the Bunker.
Yeah, the Bunker.
That's in May. I know people that's like an older franchise that was popular for like a cult following, right? I think.
Yeah.
Miasma Chronicles was another one of those like Game
Yep.
Awards games that they showed off, which
Yeah.
I don't know that it looks that good, but I think it is. Is it turn based? I think it is turn based.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
May's
we're
got
gonna-
a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, and now it's time to talk about new game releases for the week of May 1st through May 7th. So some other games that were not on that list, as well as not in the trailers that we showed, we're going to be talking about now. So, of course, you can go to releases.com. So for all of you in video and audio formats of the show here, you can go to releases.com to check out all of the new game releases that are coming for the month of May and through the year. And especially, we're going to be talking about our picks of the week now for May 1st through the 7th. So, of course, I will begin. So my pick of the week is Ravenlock. So embark on a delightful adventure through enchanted lands, delving into a lost labyrinth, a menacing masked mansion, and more. So Ravenlock. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and move that out of the way there.
Yeah, looks cool. This is Game Pass also.
Game Pass also, yes. Battle jumping jesters, power dash past sinister shadow birds, or cast a fiery spell to bring down a monstrous mechanical eagle. Level up and unlock new abilities such as launching ice missiles, drinking, and unlocking new abilities such as launching ice. I just read that. Potions to regain health and acquiring or an arsenal of magical bombs. So anyway, it comes out on PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series on May 4th.
Yeah, it's great art style.
Mm-hmm.
It looks. I hope it's good. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the art style, this looks like fun. This looks like something I definitely got to check out.
This is the benefit and the curse of Game Pass. Like, there's just so many games like I can never play it. Like, yeah, sure, I want to try this. I want to try Benedict Fox. I haven't got to that.
Yeah,
there's
just
so many.
much. Yeah.
Just give up on Persona for right now.
No, I want to get through it. I'm still playing Persona 4. I did play more Persona 4. I didn't just play Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah. Okay, Carl, you're up next.
Redfall coming on May 2nd.
Why am I not surprised?
PC and Xbox Series X. I got to be on brand. I'm wearing this shirt.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
Plus
he's playing a first-person shooter here.
Plus, this is a big AAA release, right? Like, we got to talk about it. It's got to be. Come on. Redfall is an open-world cooperative first-person shooter from Arcane Austin, the award-winning team behind Prey and Dishonored. Continuing Arcane's legacy of carefully crafted worlds and love of creative game mechanics, Redfall brings the studio's signature gameplay to the cooperative action and FPS genres. Yeah, and despite not being my genre of game, I do really think this looks cool, and Arcane makes good games, so I expect to at least be good.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, I think it's safe to say it could be a bit buggy, but then again, aren't all games a bit buggy these days?
I mean,
Yeah.
everything is. I mean, look, like I was talking about Jedi Survivor not coming out in a good condition, to the point where I was going to say the 48% positive on Steam.
Sorry, Carl. Let me go ahead and cut you off there. Burley, it's your turn. Go for it.
Okay, so my pick of the week is Super Dungeon Maker. Super Dungeon Maker is a creative pixel art dungeon editor inspired by the best 2D adventure game. Choose however many levels, enemies, secret rooms, traps, and items you want. Challenge your friends and the community to master your dungeon, or play countless dungeons of the community. So coming May 3rd to PC and Switch. This is actually a game I've kickstarted. So I've actually played a little of the demo build of it. It is a lot of fun. So I'm not going to do so. I'll be honest, I'm not going to do as much on the building side, but sitting and playing people's dungeons. And you can obviously see the Legend of Zelda inspired in this.
Oh yes.
So Burley, you need to change your gaming handle. Instead of Burleyman Gaming, you should be Kickstarter Gamer. I mean, all these indie games, you're like Kickstarter.
There you go. Maybe I should put that on as a Twitter poll and rebrand it. Everything.
There you go, man.
I do love the SNES era look of the Legend of Zelda in this game. That is cool. Yeah, I like that.
Good stuff.
May 3rd.
Yep. So those are
Woohoo!
our picks of the week. So you can go to releases.com and check out all the games that are releasing this month. But yeah, this is for May 1st through the 7th. So yeah.
So,
Right.
quick. I want to go back to what you said. You made a comment about Redfall possibly being buggy, and it's definitely possible.
Possibly,
That's
probably. I'll bet you a case of spiritual opium right now that there's going to be at least one bug in the game that people are going to be grumpy about.
That's a given.
Yeah.
Yeah, one mug. All right. But like what I wanted to say is like, I think it'll be interesting to see if Microsoft is taking the charge of delaying these games because they want them to come out in a good, stable state.
In a complete state.
Yeah. I mean, as far as whatever complete means, right? Because, there are people who are like, 30 FPS is
complete, meaning that it runs smoothly and you don't have the game crashing on you.
Well, yeah. Right. Well, that's like the baseline is
right.
No crashing, right?
Yeah,
but as far as like performance goes and stability and those type of things, right. I mean, like I said, we're seeing it with Jedi Survivor right now. I mean, is on PC, will this game run 60 frames per second without much trouble on, if you have the right hardware for it? And on Xbox, will it run 4K 30 solid without any trouble?
Yeah.
And 1440p 30 on Series S,
Yeah.
Will it hit those in a good stability and performance rate? Like that's important. And I want to see if, I know people are up in arms about not having 60, but if it hits those things that they said it's launching with without any major issues, then I think we can say that Microsoft is sort of doing the right thing with the way they're delaying these games. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, and we'll be covering it, of course, next week to see some of the reviews, of course, when they come out. So for Redfall, we do our episode next week. So yeah,
the critical reception for Jedi Survivor. No one seemed to care about those performance issues that everyone seems to be talking about now.
Yeah. All right. So now it's time for some programming notes. So Burley and I, this coming week, we're going to be interviewing the developer, Acute Mango, who is the developer of Mango Mischief. So for our Extra Take, which is a supplemental series to the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. So yeah, we're really, really excited to interview the developer of Mango Mischief. So please stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming out later this week. And of course, all of our other content that we have here on the Arena Productions when it comes to gaming, as well as our shows on entertainment and pop culture. Our Arena Extra Take, we're going to be interviewing the developer Mango Mischief. So Burley, I know you're excited for that. I am too. So
I cannot wait. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. So stay tuned for that, and that'll be going up to our Patreon ad-free, as well as to our YouTube channel here at the Arena Productions. So stay tuned for that. All right. So now it's time to talk about the games that we will be playing this coming week. Of course, I'm going to be continuing with the last case of Benedict Fox, as well as I'm probably going to start Jedi Survivor. So I'm looking forward to that. And when I get to playing it, I'll report if I get any major bug issues or any kind of crashes or anything like that. But
performance, tell us about that.
Performance issues or anything like that. Yeah. So I will let everybody know about that. So yeah, that's me. Carl, how about you? What are you going to be playing this upcoming week?
Still Persona 4. Mostly
continuing the slug on that. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm not pretty far in. So
100 hours yet?
I'll check while I'm talking here. And then I got, I'm gonna play more Honkai Star Rail. It's nice to have something like on my phone that I can play, when I can't play on console. So like I've been putting time into that.
Cool.
And then there's Redfall, which I really do want to try. So like hopefully.
Yeah, I will be trying Redfall as well because it's on Game Pass. So I will give that a try this coming
I
week as well.
have.
So.
I hate how on here it says like 2 days, 11 hours. So
2 days,
That's
11. What does that mean? Yeah.
48 plus 11, so
Right.
59 hours.
Okay. All right. Burley, how about you? What are you going to be playing this upcoming week?
Be playing obviously Jedi Survivor, and continuing on with the Pokemon Black Nuzlocke. Try and see if I can get some time for some Redfall.
Nice. All right. Okay. Want to thank all of you, of course, viewers and listeners out there that come and watch us and listen to us here on the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. So now it's time to talk about our indie recording artist for this week. So this week's spotlight is on Kyle Preston. Inspired by minimalism, electronic, and classical light music, Kyle Preston's work reaches destinations of intense clarity in musical experimentation. His work has been awarded the Apple iPad Award and is part of the Time Magazine's Game of the Year Prune. From his album titled Ancient Fathers, and the song is called Noble Fathers. Noble Night. So Noble Night. So this has been the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast, episode 131. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next one. So next Saturday, of course, we go live, of course, on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So thank you so much, and enjoy the outro, everyone. Peace out.